Can we agree? Some redstone farms look like So in this video, I'm going to build 10 aesthetic automatic farms, ranging from a simple automatic pumpkin melon farm to a completely overpowered iron farm producing over 2,000 ingots an hour, along with many other farms. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get on to today's video. Before we go ahead and get started on this new industrial district, I actually want to go ahead and maybe get some of my tools enchanted, because I'm sure I'm going to need to do a lot of terraforming, and I already know I need to do a lot of block collecting, and using these bare unenchanted tools is going to take forever to do both of those. Although before I can do any enchanting, I need to go out on a little adventure killing every single cow I can find, along with a few horses, which I'm not proud of, to gather up 46 pieces of leather to be able to craft all of the bookshelves I need, along with one enchantment table. And hopefully this cow gives us our final piece of leather. Yes, it did, so I don't have to kill you guys. On my way back home, I came across two different abandoned nether portals. One of them had pretty good loot, and the other one had like nothing. Really, just a single piece of flint from that chest. That is ridiculous. Oh, you know what? There is obsidian, and I am definitely gonna need that to craft the enchantment table. I couldn't remember if I needed 4 or 5 pieces to craft an enchantment table, so I collected 6. Once I was back home, I grabbed a stack of logs and all of my sugarcane so I can craft all of those bookshelves, along with using some diamonds to craft the enchantment table. I went ahead and set this up in the downstairs of the house where I didn't build anything. I've waited so long for this moment. Hopefully we can get some efficiency on our pickaxe. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do... Wait, I need lapis. Did I even collect up any lapis last episode? Yeah, I did. Thank God. All right, a little bit of efficiency on the pickaxe, and of course it's just efficiency. Anyways, that now runs us into our next issue. Is I'm only level 28 and I still have 4 more tools to enchant. Luckily, back in episode 1 when I was doing a little bit of caving for diamonds, I did come across a skeleton spawner pretty deep into the world, which will work perfectly as an XP farm, along with a good way to get a lot of bones for bone meal. But again, I'm missing another crucial component to build the skeleton spawner, which is a single piece of soul sand. I've yet to go to the Nether, so I went over to a nearby lava pool and flooded it to collect up all the obsidian I needed, and then built the nether portal off the island so I don't have to constantly hear the sounds of it. This location for the portal is completely temporary because we are going to be building here pretty soon. But yeah, I just hate the noises, and it gets so annoying when it's like next to your storage room, because then you're just constantly hearing the nether sounds. Anyways, I went ahead and crafted myself a pair of gold boots so no hoglins attack me, and I think I'm ready to jump into the nether. Hopefully we like don't spawn in a basalt delta or like into a pool of lava. And oh, that is actually not the greatest thing in the world. I'm gonna leave here real quick because I completely forgot to grab any building blocks whatsoever, so I went ahead and grabbed a stack of cobblestone and went back to the nether. I just need to use these blocks to build up a little bit because I want to get on top of these warped stem. Or no, these are crimson stem, I think. Yeah, because I want to stay away from that guy. Oh, did he see me? Darn it. These guys do so much damage. It is ridiculous. Oh, you know, I kind of forgot that they also give you leather too. Dude, finally I found something that isn't a crimson forest, but of course now I'm like pretty high up and I don't have feather falling. I'm just gonna go for it. I think this is survivable. Yeah, it definitely is. Did I spook those guys? Nope, he doesn't see me. Oh, nice. We got some soul sand right down there. I only need 1 piece, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably collect up a stack of this stuff so I don't need to get any more for a little while. Along with collecting up a good amount of quartz, because I am gonna need this a little bit later when it comes to building all of those farms. God damn it. Oh my God, of course I catch myself on fire. Oh dude, I forgot how much XP quartz gives you. I'm gonna get myself back up to level 30 before even going back to the overworld. Ooh, that could have been bad. Oh no, where is that guy coming from? I don't have a bow and arrow either, so there's like nothing I can do. I don't even need any more quartz. I'm strictly just getting XP at this point. Level 33 is definitely good with me. That's 2 more enchantments. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and try to avoid that asshole. This was actually so freaking terrifying, knowing that there's a guy behind me just shooting freaking artillery shells at me. Oh, somehow I managed to make that with being untouched. Once I was back to base, I went ahead and crafted a new diamond pickaxe and shovel since my current ones are almost broken, and went to enchant those. Dude, no, of course it's showing fortune 2 and not fortune 3. Is this shovel showing the same thing? Oh, you're kidding. Honestly, you know what? Fortune Fortune 2 is better than no fortune at all, so of course it's just fortune. But our shovel is now showing efficiency 4. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that is not bad at all. I was going to craft an anvil to combine the 2 pickaxes together, but I'm all out of iron, which is a problem we will be solving shortly. Not quite yet though, because I want to get this skeleton XP farm built first. So I went ahead and grabbed all of the bookshelves and enchantment table so I can set it up down at the skeleton spawner, and made my way over to the cave so I can start descending into the world to find where the skeleton spawner is. That was beyond terrifying, because for a split second as I was falling, I thought there may have not been water here. I spent quite a long time searching through the cave and through the mine shaft trying to find the skeleton spawner, but I do not remember where it is. Dude, no, there's 2 baby zombies. I don't think the second one saw me yet. Take care of this guy. Oh my god, they're such assholes. Oh yeah, there's the second one. That is insane that there's 2 of them. Dude, the armor the skeleton just dropped that I killed is like pretty insane. Fire protection 2, unbreaking 3, and then blast protection 3 on the boots. That is wild. Eventually, I did end up finding where the skeleton spawner was, so I went ahead and used some stone to block off the walls so no creepers sneak up behind me, and got started on turning this into an XP farm. Honestly, I was so stoked though, because while I was digging out this room, I ended up coming across 2 different diamond veins, and I now had a fortune pickaxe, so I went ahead and used it and got literally nothing more than what the diamonds were in the wall. I guess I never realized that Fortune 3 makes a way bigger difference than Fortune 2. For the XP farm itself, I built a very basic version of it by just digging out a 9x9 block room for the skeletons to spawn in, and then they'll fall into some water streams, which will take them to soul sand, lift them up 21 blocks, and then they'll fall back down 21 blocks, bringing them down to half a heart. Although once I had the entire farm complete, I noticed that no skeletons were falling down into the kill chamber, and it turns out I mined 2 blocks directly above the water elevator, so they were getting stuck up here. And this was a total pain in the ass to deal with, because they were able to shoot me as I was trying to kill them, and I had a few close calls. And finally, this thing is actually working now. I'm not sure if I get too... Yep, they can hit me if I get too close. Oh, and just like that, I'm already up to level 30. Oh, dude, do not tell me that I forgot to bring lapis with me. I swear to God. Oh my God, I did forget to bring lapis. Luckily, this wasn't too big of a deal, because I could just run around the caves looking for a little bit of lapis. I did come across even more diamonds, which is always awesome. Oh, dude, I walked right by this. Literally right over into that cave and started exploring, and there's some right here. 49 lapis is definitely more than enough. Now that I had the lapis I needed, I went ahead and enchanted my diamond sword, getting fire aspect 2 and unbreaking 3, which honestly is complete. Anyways, I'm sure you can guess exactly how the next 30 minutes to an hour went. It just involved me killing a lot of skeletons, getting up to level 30, enchanting a tool, and then hiding in a hole for more skeletons to drop down, killing them, and continue enchanting. Even though I was pissed about getting fire aspect and unbreaking on my sword, I'm kind of glad I did, because it made it a little easier to kill the skeletons, and my sword wasn't broken by the time I was done. Dude, and finally, after like 3 days of sitting at that spawner, I have all of my tools enchanted along with a few extras, and also all of my armor, and I went ahead and got blast protection on my chest plate, because as I've learned, having protection 4 on all of your armor doesn't save you from a creeper blast, but if you have blast protection on one of those pieces, it will save you. Or at least I hope. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, because I've had enough of this spawner. I didn't end up going straight for the surface. I decided to explore around the caves a little bit, looking for any iron that I can harvest with my new fortune pickaxe. It's gonna be super important to get about at least 2 stacks of this stuff, because I'm gonna need it for one of the farms we're gonna be building next, and I currently have like none to my name back up at the surface, so I thought it would be a good idea. What was that noise? I swear to God, cave noises are the scariest thing in the world. And this is exactly why I hate fire aspect, is because I was just killing a baby zombie and it caught me on fire. I hear a baby. Oh, there he is. Oh, and he's wearing armor. Frick off, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh my God, he did it again. Dude, these guys are the worst. Dude. A third one. You're kidding. Why is there so many of these guys? And after that, I decided just to dig a staircase straight up to the surface so I didn't have to deal with any more mobs. And of course, it happens to be nighttime when I come back up to the surface. Let me just build some blocks up real quick, and then I can actually just... Nope, that's not my bed. Those are diamonds. Take my bed, place it down right there, and sleep through the night. Because I do not want to get sneak attacked by one of these dickheads right here. Yeah, look at that dude. He just deserves to, you know, blow up. Once I was back to base, I used some of my new iron to craft an anvil to combine some tools and fix them up. up. Really, 14 levels to combine these two pickaxes, and the other way it's 24 levels. That is insane, but I'm gonna do it. Which now gives me a Fortune 3 pickaxe rather than 2 Fortune 2 pickaxes. And then I actually want to grab a couple of diamonds real quick, along with 2 sticks so I can craft another diamond pickaxe, which I'm then gonna combine with this silk touch pickaxe, making it fully repaired. I'm currently on top of the big ass tree behind the horse stables right now, or animal pens. I don't know which one to call them, but I'm just looking around for where I want to build this industrial district, and I was kind of thinking about over in this area, and then I remembered I already have like a pretty open flat area right here, which I cleared out last episode. And honestly, I think it's gonna work pretty well as a location because I like the idea of it being in the savannah, because I don't know, it just works. I feel like I don't want to destroy part of the forest where I can build some other really cool builds. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and build it right here. But first things first, I actually need to make my way over to the nearby village so I can steal 2 villagers and bring them back to our base to set up a simple villager breeder so I can build an iron farm. Yep, I know, big surprise. The first farm we're going to be building is an iron farm. Anyways, I also want to go ahead and steal most of the beds out of this village because that means I'm not going to have to craft them later. I need a grand total of 12 beds. I kind of doubt this village is going to have all of them, but at least it's going to save me a little bit of time in the future. How in the f did this guy get in? You know, I have 0 questions and I don't even want to know. And somehow this village actually did end up having more than 12 beds, which is awesome. Now I just need to get these villagers back over to our base, and thank God Mojang made it so you can drag boats behind you using a lead, because it is game changing. Now this is going to be the tougher part, is I need to get these guys up over the blocks, which is possible. It just takes forever. There we go. It's when it's like going 2 blocks up fairly quickly is when it's really difficult. That was actually so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. I'm just gonna drag these guys out into the water for now, so at least no zombies are gonna be able to get them, since when zombies go in any water that's more than a block deep, they'll just sink all the way down to the bottom and turn into a drowned. Oh, no. Oh my goodness, I did not just do that. Can I just drag the boat next to him and it'll pick him up? Okay, we're good. I got him back in the boat. Since I don't have the talent to come up with my own design for a villager breeder, I decided to go online and found a video for one, which will be linked down in the description. Part of the reason I chose this one is because this villager breeder is going to be completely temporary, and I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time building some huge villager breeder only for me to destroy it a little later. Although it took so long to build this thing because the villagers have a mind of their own. I mean, technically I guess they do, but for being an NPC, they were just all over the place and I could not figure it out. Eventually though, I was able to get both villagers into place and finish up the rest of the farm. Oh, did I just see hearts? Oh, I'm seeing hearts. Okay, awesome. It's working. It's actually working. While I wait for all of the lovemaking to take place over there, I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up this area by getting rid of the Nether portal along with all the sugarcane and crops. Before removing the Nether portal, I realized that I actually am going to need a little bit of glowstone, so I decided to make my way in there, collect up about 15 pieces of glowstone, and make my way back to the overworld to destroy the portal. With everything officially now out of the way, I could start cleaning up the area by first removing all of the podzol that spawned in when I grew those 2x2 spruce trees, which I feel like there should be a better way to get rid of podzol rather than either breaking it or turning it into path and then putting dirt on top of it, but whatever, removing the blocks and placing them back in isn't too big of a deal. From there, I needed to make the area quite a bit bigger because I'm planning on putting 3 to 4 different large structures on this plot of land, and right now it is not big enough, so I removed a decent amount from the right side, but I tried to give it an organic shape by having it round on the corners rather than just going like straight into a corner. Next up, I wanted to get started on the pathway going around this whole area, but I was all out of andesite, so I made my way over to the big cave we've been mining in and started digging out a giant vein of andesite, collecting up about 8 stacks, which should be more than enough for all the pathways. On my way back, I also realized I should probably put a block over the heads of the villagers in the breeder, because if lightning happens to strike them, they're going to turn into witches, which will break the breeder. Getting straight back into working on this industrial area, I first started working on the pathways and then moved on to making the place look a little bit more organic, because back in the right corner, it was looking a little funky. And after way too much time, this area is looking pretty damn good in my opinion. What took the longest was just trying to maintain an organic look in this back area, because originally it was just like a cliff that was 8 or 9 blocks tall that just went straight up. So to fix that, I just stepped the terrain back 1 block at a time, giving it a slow incline. Anyways, I think it's about damn time I get started with the first farm in this area, which is gonna be that iron farm. Luckily, I had most of the items I'm gonna need to build this thing already in my storage room, so I just spent a little while crafting all the necessary components, and then went over to the nearby lava pool to collect up 1 bucket of lava, which is gonna be used in the kill chamber. Since the iron farm is gonna be relatively flat and just have a small building in the center, I'm gonna go ahead and build it in this front plot right here, because I think it's gonna look the best, especially when we're standing over on the island over there. I just don't want it to be like some massive building in the front. The first step in this process was to dig out a 9x9x2 block hole, which is where all of the iron golems are gonna be spawning. Rather than leaving this dirt, I went ahead and replaced all of the blocks with stone brick and normal stone, along with flooding the whole thing with water so the iron golems end up in the middle, and then I dug a 30 block deep hole all the way down into the world, which is where the kill chamber / collection chamber is going to be. This farm is going to have 4 villager chambers, each holding 3 villagers and 1 zombie, so I had to dig out all 4 of those chambers before bringing any of the villagers over. This part was super crucial to get right, because if I mess it up by even 1 block, then the golems are going to be spawning in weird places. Let's pray to God this actually goes smoothly, because knowing my luck, it won't. Okay, we have 1 villager in a cart, then we want to get him into a boat. No, where are you going? Where are you going? Dude, no, come back here. I'm just gonna push you right into there. Okay, sweet. We got 1 right there. If I place this right here, will he like immediately go into the other boat? Nope, it was too close. Okay, that works. That is totally fine. And time for the 3rd one. Right in. Come on. No, god damn it. Okay, we got those 3 already, so I can just actually grab the leads, do something a little bit like this, and drag them over to the iron farm. I need to do this 3 more times because we need a grand total of 12 villagers. Once all 12 villagers were over to the iron farm, I just needed to place some beds above the holes they need to fall in, and then come nighttime, the villagers will try to sleep and I will break these beds, causing them to fall directly into the hole. And now is the next fun part, which I need to get a zombie into every single one of these like chambers. Okay, we have a zombie right here. He does have a shovel, but I don't know if that matters or not. They're going in boats, so they won't despawn. Just need him to follow me this way. Perfect, and then close that, and then he can do his own thing. Okay, we have another one right over here. Boom, there is the second one. 3rd zombie right there. Okay, he sees me. Oh, and we already have an iron golem spawning. Right into your new home, please. Sweet, there is another, and now we just have 1 zombie left. Right over this way, come on, right into the hole. Sweet, okay, we got that one. And to finish things off, I now just needed to kill any iron golems that had already spawned in, along with getting rid of the dirt blocks that are covering the hole to the kill chamber, which I placed in, so I don't accidentally fall down there. I hope this isn't going to be an issue, but I have no idea how a golem spawned all the way out here. Hopefully it was like a one-time thing. Oh, sick. No. How did he spawn all the way out there? It said I only... Oh. The tutorial said I only needed to go 3 blocks out from the farm for them not to spawn. Oh my goodness. If I'm gonna have to go this far out to spawn proof the area, it's gonna like destroy everything. I'm gonna watch this video again and see if I'm screwing anything up. Shortly after this, I did end up rage quitting for the day because I was so upset, because it turns out you need way bigger of an area for golems not to be spawning outside of the kill chamber. Although coming back to the game the next day, I went ahead and expanded the area out a little bit more, and I wasn't super happy with how big the area has now become because of this problem with spawning, but I think we're gonna be able to work around it and still make the area look really cool. New day, new me. Well, no, just same old me, but it is a new day and I'm feeling a whole lot better about this area. I set up these little platforms of grass just as a test to see if any golems are going to spawn on these blocks, and so far it doesn't seem to be the case, but I'm just gonna let them be for a little while I go collect up some blocks, which I'm gonna be using to decorate this thing and actually make it look good. And also to stop myself from like, accidentally falling in here, because that could be really bad. And it's been running for about 45 minutes now, and we are getting loads upon loads of iron, which I probably didn't need to build an iron farm this overkill and this early on, but honestly, I'm kind of happy I did, because iron should never be an issue in this world ever again. Grabbing a couple stacks of cobblestone along with some coal, I threw this all in the furnace to get some stone, which I will then further craft into stone brick. I also grew another 2x2 spruce tree to collect up another stack of spruce logs, which I'm going to be using. And then now that I have so much iron, I grabbed an entire stack of it and crafted a stack of lanterns, which just feels so damn good to have. When it comes to the structure itself that is going to cover this kill chamber, I'm thinking about just doing some posts on the corners that are going to go, let's say, 4 blocks high. And then using some spruce fences, I can just go along something like this so I don't accidentally fall into here. And you know what? Since I have so many lanterns, I'm gonna go ahead and place them like so on all 4 sides. All that's really left to do at this point is throw a roof on top of this thing, and I'm gonna go with the same design I used over on the island over there, which is using stone brick for the trim and then spruce for the middle part. And then for a final touch in this area, I actually want to go ahead and use some hanging signs because I never use them and I think they look so freaking cool. Oh yeah, I love that. I'm gonna go ahead and write on these signs. It doesn't say anything special, but yeah, I guess it gets the point through. There is iron sold here, but it's not really being sold because it's completely free to me. And don't worry, I did mob-proof the entire roof by putting some pressure plates on any top blocks on both the stone brick and also the spruce. Moving on, I want to get started with the next farm, which is gonna be an auto pumpkin melon farm. Although before I can start building, I need to actually head down into the cave I've been exploring for the last 2 episodes to gather up all of the redstone and gold I've left in the walls. Thank God I now have Fortune 3 on my pickaxe because it made it way easier collecting this stuff up since I'm now getting 2 to 3 times the normal amount. Once I felt I had more than enough redstone and gold, I then went ahead and spent a few minutes collecting up about 5 stacks of deep slate, which I'm gonna be using on a build a little bit later. Also, on my way out of the cave, I saw some diamonds, which I'm not gonna leave because they're free diamonds. Once back up to the surface, I could begin the large crafting spree, getting all of the items together that I'm gonna need for this auto melon pumpkin farm. The final thing I needed for this farm was just some melon seeds because I forgot to grab some earlier when I was in the jungle. Luckily, it's not too far away, so I made my way over there, collected up 30 melon slices, and made my way back home to get started with this farm. With all of the items now together, I guess it's about time to go ahead and start building this thing, which is gonna go in this square. As usual, I am no redstone genius, so I went online and looked up a tutorial by Shulkercraft, and I will make sure to link that video down in the description, so if you guys want to build it, you're able to. The farm itself is now all completed. It's not going to be producing melons or pumpkins just yet because all of the actual plants need to grow up a little more. But while I wait for that to happen, I actually want to go ahead and start collecting up the blocks I'm going to need to build the structure around this. And it's important to keep in mind that this entire structure we're going to be building has to be completely mob-proof or else the golems are going to spawn on the building. The main item I'm going to be using for this structure is brick, which means I am going to need a shitload of clay. I was going to go look for a lush cave since it's full of it, but I remembered I have Aqua Infinity on my helmet along with Efficiency 4 on my shovel, so I opted just to go swim around in the base of the rivers, collecting up as many clay deposits as possible. And oh man, is this broken. It is crazy how well it works having Aqua Infinity on a helmet, which is normally something I don't do. I normally just go for Respiration 3 because then it means I get to breathe forever, but I will definitely be trying to get Aqua Infinity on all of my helmets in the future. Once I had way more clay than I needed, I made my way over to my furnace house, which is the first time I think I'm actually using this building, to smelt up all of this clay into brick. The other block I'm gonna need a lot of is stone. But rather than heading over to the cave and continuing digging out the quarry I've been using so far, I opted to set up a simple cobblestone generator, which will get me stone if I use my Silk Touch pickaxe. I sat here for about 15 minutes while I went to go walk my dogs because they were about to all over my floor of my office, and when I came back I had about half a chest full of it. Can you tame a cat with salmon? I mean, I just killed some fish to get some. I remember this being like a huge pain in the ass. I haven't tamed a cat in forever. I actually don't think I've ever tamed a cat before. I think I've only tamed ocelots. Come on, buddy. No, come on. All right, I'm just chasing him. Come on. Okay, we almost had him. I'm placing lanterns f***ing everywhere. Come on. I'm determined. I am determined. Oh, I got him. Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. That is... Can you follow me now, buddy? They're like dogs, right? They just kind of follow you. Yeah, it looks like he's doing that. Now I gotta go clean up all those damn lanterns I placed down. I'm just gonna go ahead and put them right here so no creepers come up and sneak behind me and, you know, like blow up and kill me. Okay, and I think now I'm actually ready to start building, considering I have an inventory full of crap, and the chest right back there, I don't know if you can see it, is also full of stuff. I did notice though, as I was laying this out a little bit, that I could have built this thing one block back and it would have been centered up, which is a huge bummer, but you know what, it's not too big of a deal. Getting straight into this build, I knew I wanted it to have a very factory look by including a lot of brick and granite along with stone brick and andesite brick. What? No. What is it called? Smooth andesite? You know, never mind. Forget about it. It was definitely a bummer that the farm wasn't centered up in the plot of land, because it meant I sort of had to remove part of the farm to put the brick and granite walls up, which also meant it was going to be a huge pain in the ass to build the door, because I like using trapdoors around my normal doors. But in this case, since there's redstone nearby, every time the pistons fire, it's causing the trapdoors to open. And finally, this factory building is all complete. These trapdoors, I need to figure out a solution for them, because every time the pistons fire, it causes them to close, or I guess open. Actually, I don't know. But right now I just have the access to the farm itself right down here, which I think is actually fine for now. But eventually I do want to have like a central storage room where all the items from every farm we build ends up in one place. I also have a little bit of room up there. I want to say it's a 3x3 block area and it spans the whole distance. And I know there's a few micro farms that I could also probably squeeze up there. I'm just not exactly sure which ones I want to do. But yeah, besides that, I am so happy with how this thing turned out. I love the look. Oh, you know what I can actually put up there? I could put our cobblestone generator up top. Oh yeah, that's totally doable. That would look super cool. Which is exactly what I did next by removing my temporary cobblestone farm and putting it on the second floor of the factory building. Moving on, I want to go ahead and jump straight into these next couple farms, which are going to go in this plot of land right here. But first, as always, I'm going to need to, you know, collect up a couple more blocks. So for like the 10th time, I made my way over to the super large cave to collect up about 4 or 5 stacks of diorite, which I'm planning on using in this new structure. Once I had more than enough, I then began harvesting up some acacia wood, because I'd love to try incorporating some of this stuff into one of the builds in this industrial district, since it is in a savanna biome. But before I can actually build anything, I need to remove all of these chests that I placed here like a complete jackass, knowing that I'm gonna have to move them later. And now I'm really not looking forward to it, because it always sucks doing this. I'm just gonna go ahead and craft a couple new chests, and I'm gonna put them way out of the way to make sure this doesn't happen again. And finally, now that everything was cleared up, I could start building this new structure. I spent quite a while trying to figure out the dimensions for this build, because originally I was gonna have it be a large square building similar to the building next to it, but I then opted to actually make it more of a rectangle shape so everything doesn't look super symmetrical. When it came to the block palette I decided to use for this build, it was completely outside of the normal box for me, because normally I am never building with diorite, nor am I stripping all of my oak logs down into more of that light beige color. Although I am very happy I decided to do this, because I constantly find myself using the exact same block palette for like every single one of my builds, and I think it's very important to try and push myself to use other blocks. Anyways, the first floor is similar to most of the other builds in this world by using stone brick as sort of like a basement foundation thing, and then the second floor is where I brought in that diorite, and then moving up to the roof, it took me a little while to figure out a design for this, because I was gonna do a roof with a pitch in the middle, but after testing it out, it was gonna be way too tall, so I then opted to do 2 peaks on the roof, which I think looked great. For the blocks, I used stone brick as a trim, and then I brought in a decent amount of deep slate, which I textured using the tiles and bricks, and then to finish things off, I did a little bit of detailing around the edges. And dude, I am freaking in love with the way this building turned out. It adds such a nice bit of like lightness to the area, because so far the other 2 structures are a little bit on the darker side, I would say, and this is completely the opposite. Everything is so bright about it. Anyways, there should be more than enough room on the interior to do 2 separate auto farms, one of those being an auto sugarcane farm and the other one being an auto bamboo farm. Now obviously these aren't going to be the biggest farms ever built, but they should be more than enough to supply me with bamboo and sugarcane for at least the first couple episodes, I would assume. Before I go ahead and start with these 2 farms, I actually want to go ahead and remove all of this grass and place in a floor using stripped acacia and acacia planks. That absolutely just scared like the living out of me that this guy just spawned in here that fast. Oh, I'm gonna need to place blocks in, but this guy is going to be in the way. How much damage does he do? Oh, kind of a lot, but I do more. All right, hopefully it takes a few minutes for another one to spawn while I work on the floor. Holy shit, I do not remember stripped acacia logs being this bright of an orange. Hopefully this doesn't look just absolutely horrendous by the time I'm done. And you know, it kind of is horrendous. This does not look great. Hopefully once we put the farms on top of this, it might look a little bit better. I've spent a little while thinking about how I'm gonna actually orientate these farms inside of this building, because normally I think the rule is you should build your redstone farms first and then build a structure around them, but obviously I did it backwards this time. Anyways, I do have an idea now of what I want to do, so I'm gonna get rid of these blocks right here, and I want to replace the dirt with, nope, I gotta make sure every single block is filled in, but I want to replace them with acacia logs. And then taking some chest and hoppers, I'm gonna place them a little bit something like this, and I will place a powered rail on top of each of those. And then I want to go 10 blocks out, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then on the 10th I want to do that, and then I can just mirror it on the other side. And actually real quick, I want to get rid of these 2 blocks and replace them with some blocks of redstone and place the rails back in, and then place some blocks like that. 2 more redstone blocks, place those in. And does this lock the hopper? No, it does not. Now I can actually start placing in the blocks where the bamboo and sugarcane is going to go. Along with the pistons, this needs to go 1 block back like that. I will do it on the 2nd block. Using a little bit of water, I'm gonna flood this middle channel right here. Okay, perfect. Now that I have that done, I can actually cover this up. Now I wanna make sure this goes all the way up so we don't lose any sugarcane or bamboo. And then right over here, I wanna place in an observer. Wrong way. I want it to go that way. Yep, like that. And then now I can simply just take some redstone and run it along the back like this, and it should reach. Let's just double check. Yeah, it reaches every single one. I also want to cover these blocks up. Definitely don't want to forget that. Then now I can just throw the bamboo down on the bottom right here, and the sugarcane on the other side. And then finally cover up the top like so. Using a little bit of glass, I'm gonna place it right here so I can at least see the sugarcane. Same thing applies to the bamboo. And then to finish things off, I'm just gonna run some trapdoors across like this and then go ahead and flip them down. And just like that, we have a working sugarcane farm along with a working bamboo farm. Now, as I already said, these aren't like the biggest farms anyone's ever built, but they should get the job done for the time being. And later, I have plans to build much bigger ones using some flying machines. Anyways, I wanna go ahead and get started with the next set of farms, which are gonna be some auto wool farms. That's why I have these grass blocks set up right now, is just to get an idea of the placement of these. Luckily, I have pretty much everything I'm gonna need besides 7 bows, which I can then craft into dispensers. I went ahead and made my way back over to the skeleton XP farm because there's a bunch of broken bows, which I can combine together to get fully repaired ones. There wasn't enough there to get 7 repaired bows, so then I ran over to the mine shaft and started collecting up the cobwebs, which will give me string, and then made my way back up to the surface to finish crafting everything up. I'm gonna go ahead and just build one of these auto wool farms for now, just to have kind of a base design, which the other 6 are gonna look like. I couldn't really decide on a block palette for this build, so I started with cobblestone and then got rid of it and used diorite and made it very similar to the building right behind it, which I think looks really nice, but I don't know how great it's gonna look having 7 of these in total, because I think it's gonna blend all of these builds together way too much. The other issue I'm running into with this farm is out the back right here, there is a single piece of redstone that sticks out, and I can't really find a better way than this to cover it up without expanding this build out 2 more blocks, which then it will have a footprint way bigger than I want it to. So instead, I think what I'm actually gonna do is go ahead and just build one larger structure and try and fit 6 to 8 of these auto wool farms inside of it. I just want to make sure I keep the build a little bit on the shorter side so it doesn't completely cover up this building back here. I spent a little while trying to figure out the layout of this new farm, and I opted to go for a dispenser every other block, meaning we're gonna be able to fit 7 sheep in here in total. Now that may not seem like a lot, but wool is not something I'm typically building with, so I think for the early game, this should do. With the redstone part of the farm now complete, it's time for the really fun part, which is going to be getting sheep into every single one of these 7 pens. Come on, climb up here, please. Awesome. I just need one of you. Shove you right into there. Can you, oh, god damn it. Oh, can they not fit with the trapdoor there? Right into there. Oh no, I hit them. Gosh darn it. Come on, get in the hole. Okay, we got one. Awesome. Sweet. Time for the next one. Dude, how are you not fitting in there? And that should do it. There we go. Okay, we got the second one in. So I just need to do this 5 more times. Now that we have all of the sheep in here, I just want to go ahead and dye them all to white for now. Eventually, I think it would be cool to do like all of them rainbow. Oh, that's a gray sheep. I still got to dye it. Yeah, I think it would be cool to do them all like rainbow so I get a little bit of all of the colors. But for now, I just kind of want to stick with white wool because at least it's a good like base color to start with. Trying to add some more color to this industrial area, I decided to bring in some plain terracotta, which sort of has that orange look, which goes really good with granite and brick. And then for the roof, I went with another design which uses spruce as a trim and oak for like the filler parts of it. And in the couple of minutes it took me to build this outer structure, we are already up to 51 white wool, which is pretty insane for only having 7 sheep. Wool is something I don't use very often, but it will be nice to have it in a pinch when I am planning on using it. Considering I'm now 80 days into this project, I want to go ahead and get started on the next 3 farms, which are all going to be some lava dripstone farms. Starting things off, I built a 3x3 of cauldrons, and I built 3 separate ones of them representing each of the silos. And for this first one, I decided to use some brick, granite, and terracotta. But of course, when I got halfway through building it, I ran out of brick, so I had to go jump into the river, collect up another 4 stacks of clay, and smelt all of this stuff up. And once it was done, I could get back to building this first silo. I want the block palette of each one of these silos to represent a different building we've built so far in this industrial district. So the first one uses the clay and brick, obviously, and the next 2 are gonna use some stone and andesite along with diorite and smooth diorite. Or once again, what is it called? Smooth? I don't know if it's smooth diorite. I don't know what it is. Either way, whatever it's called, I think these things are looking pretty damn rad so far. I have them sort of step down in height, this one being the tallest and this one being the shortest. And as you can tell, I snuck a little bit of cobblestone in there because I did run out of diorite and I really don't want to collect up anymore. But once all of these cauldrons are full, that means we're going to have 27 lava sources, which I think should be more than enough for smelting. And eventually I could hook this up to a auto furnace rig, giving us unlimited fuel. Besides that, I have this area right here that I wasn't planning on having because obviously the spawning platform for the golems wasn't quite big enough. So I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to put in this location. And I think I'm just going to put some like decked out, simple like crop fields. After thinking about this for a few more minutes, I decided to change my mind, and rather than putting some useless crop fields here, I opted to build a few very small farms, one of those being a little vine farm. So I ran my way over into the forest to a fallen log that had vines on it, collected those up, and got to building this simple farm, which is just going to be a 2-high wall with the vines on it. And then below that is going to be some hoppers that run into a chest. For one of the smaller plots of land, I'm going to throw down a jungle sapling and put some cocoa beans on it. So at least I have a little bit of a cocoa bean farm. Dude, you're kidding. The one time I need like a tall jungle tree, I get literally the shortest one you can. Honestly, I just give up at this point. I'm just gonna get rid of this bottom layer of leaves, try to make the thing look somewhat okay. Yeah, I guess that works. And then I can place the cocoa beans on the logs like this. And then I don't know what to do with this last little piece of land right here. Oh, you know what? I actually do have an idea. If I go ahead and remove these 2 blocks right here, I can throw a double chest down like that. Then I can go ahead and get rid of that block, throw a hopper down, and then place some fence posts around the outside. Out of the 5 eggs I have, let's see if I'm gonna be able to get a, nope, if I can get a chicken. Oh, we did get a chicken. That's sick. And then do you get chickens? Oh, that's so cool. You get the other variant of sorry, buddy. That's rad though. You get the other variant of chicken by throwing those ones, the brown ones, and hatching them. And honestly, I am so happy with how this industrial district has turned out. I feel like we have pretty much all of the important farms for at least moving forward. We got our sugarcane and bamboo, pumpkins and melons, which can be used for trading with villagers. Obviously the iron farm, which is I think probably the most important. We have some lava farms for infinite fuel along with lava. And then our little sheep farm over here, which I realized just a few minutes ago that if this is a path block, the minecart won't bounce off of it. So I probably lost a couple stacks of wool, but that is okay. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. As always, the world download after today's episode will be up on my Patreon, so don't forget to check that out. And I will see you guys in the next one.